Morning. You are watching Beyond the Headlines on Freedom Square TV. We are reaching you from our Enugu studios, Southeast Nigeria. This morning, we want to have a look at Enugu's revolutionary and disruptive farm estates, which has been used as to fight insecurity in the state. During his campaigns and upon being elected as sworn in as governor of Enugu State, on May 29, 2023, Dr. Barrister Peter promised a revolutionary and disruptive investment in agriculture and agro-industrialization. So 6 months down the line, the question is, how far has this program gone? I did a little research on what has happened in the agri ministry. And one thing is obvious. The government of Enugu State has been able to procure an assembly plant, which is prepared to roll about 1,000 tractors. From a visit to the assembly plant, already 200 tractors are on ground and 800 have been assembled. Another look at the states will indicate that the government is embarking on an aggressive 260 smart farm estates across the length and breadth of Enugu State. An indication that each ward would have a farm estate. And that's actually impressive. We also discovered that the government of Enugu State has embarked on the distribution of high-yield seedlings and farm inputs. And there are trainings going on for farmers. And interestingly, over 67,000 farmers have been registered across the 17 local government areas of the state. And with these accurate farm sizes, locations, and specializations in the government database, Enugu State is prepared to deploy tailored support, attract high-tech investors, and integrate seamlessly into global agricultural value chains. And so, in the hands of Governor Peter of Enugu State, agriculture has become a smart, scalable, and data-driven enterprise. So, with that said, what exactly are these disruptive farm estates? And what inspired this bold initiative? And that is why this morning we have invited to the studio, and he's here with me in the studio, the Managing Director, CEO of ENUGU'S Farm Limited, and who is a consultant to the Enugu State government on farm estates. He is Alhaji Sani Friday Nnaji. Alhaji, good morning and welcome to Beyond the Headlines of Freedom Square TV.
Good morning, Enugu.
And of course, good morning, Nigeria, and good morning, our viewers. Alhaji, let's start from the basic. You know, each time our people hear this Alhaji, they normally think that somebody has been imported from either Sokoto or Adamawa or one far place in the north. So let our viewers meet you. Who is Sani Friday Nnaji?
Sani Friday Nnaji, seeing the combination of the name, you understand that fully that I'm not imported. So, Sani Friday Nnaji is from a village called Ogwanama. Ogwanama is in Isuzo local government area of Enugu State. I was born and brought up in Ogwanama, but I spent majority of my life, early life in the north. That's where I do my early school up to master's degree. And
that's where you got converted.
Yeah.
Okay, that will be a story for another day. What is important is for those who are watching us online, and Sani Friday Nnaji is from Ogwanama, and that is in Isuzo local government area of Enugu State. Born, bred, and brought up. He had the opportunity of schooling in the north, and he embraced Islam. But of course, you know, people are different, and they have a right to be different. So, Alhaji, You are a consultant to Enugu State's government on farm estates. What does that mean? What is this consultancy? What does that mean?
Yeah, His Excellency Dr. Peter Ndubusimba is a leader from his manifestos and his campaign promises. He promised to bring a destructive innovation to not only in other spaces, but including agriculture. And immediately he comes in as a governor. We look inward, what is the problem of agriculture in Enugu State? And that warrant the registration of farmers across the states. According to state database, we have over 67,000 people registered. And also we have their, not just people registered, we have the locations of their farmland. So in view of this, for we to feed ourselves, export food for various parts of Nigeria and across the world, we have to do something differently from what is happening across the Nigeria. Both the federal, state, and local government have been doing a lot of programs in agriculture, sponsoring agriculture, spending a lot of money. I can remember the former president, Mohamed Buhari, spent trillions of naira in supporting agriculture. But if you look, the impact is very little. So what His Excellency did is, how do we now solve those problems and make whatever resources he's bringing into agriculture to be utilized? So that's what brings about Enugu Farm Estate. The farm estate is to cluster those farmers into one location, geofence the farm, create a warehouse into the farm, and bring in people from the same environment together and teach them on what to plant in that location. So issue of Fulani encroachment, issue of many things, the land development and other things, the state have taken care of it. So the farmers can produce by taking 260 wards. We are trying to achieve 52,000 hectares of farmland, which after getting this result, we can export food of any kind to any part of the world.
Okay, people who don't always believe in sometimes in good things or question every government activity, they be asking, and the questions are very simple. Excuse me. They say, how can the planting of corn or maize or cassava or tomatoes or yam or whatever food crops that we planted in these farms, how can it help to reduce violence and insecurity? How do you say you can use food security to fight insecurity?
Good. This question is what I've been ringing. Normally, a hungry man is an angry man.
Anytime.
Good. So when you have food, for you to go into crime, you will think twice. But those that are hungry and they don't have hope, they will go to crime to make a means of life. So let's take that apart.
Okay.
What is the major problem we have in Southeast, especially in Enugu State in the last 3 years? Is issue of rampant kidnapping, issue of rampant killings. All our forests have been taken over by kidnappers. Our border lines, if you check like Kemunkwo in issues of local government, if you check out about Ehamufu, if you talk about Ozuwan, you see those border lines have been taken over by criminals, including Fulani, herdsmen, and even our own local boys have taken over those forests, kidnapping all over. I believe if you are coming from those areas, it doesn't go to your village the way you go before.
Yes, yes.
So, what His Excellency did is how not only to deploy soldiers in those locations, but how do we permanently solve those problems? If you check area like United States, as advanced as US is, they have to create a war between them and Mexico.
Yes, yes, they did.
So, for you to think about what to be the sustainability, what to sustain the security system in Enugu State, apart from the system you have created in monitoring all over the state, you now see that you need to develop those lands. I have done it practically in my own village. 2019, in my village, you cannot go 1 kilometer from my house, my own house, to a nearby forest because it has been taken over by Fulanis. In Ugwana, my issues on local government. But immediately I developed that place, bulldozer that place and put cultivation there. From 2020 to today, no Fulani man have crossed that place.
So you started from your charity begins at home.
Yeah.
You started the experiment.
So in the whole Umbu Amon, people are hearing me. In the whole Umbu Amon, before that time, there used to be a gathering from the Igwe Palace, and the people who go to chase these people out. But from 2020 to today, that has been a history.
So that's where you used agriculture.
Yeah, we use agriculture there to solve the insecurity problem. 2, if you go to Ikemunkwo is an area that is bordered with Benue State. When these people committed atrocity in Benue State, they run to Enugu State. That's Ikemunkwo area. It's about 15,000 hectares of land.
That's massive.
Very massive. So you know how they operate there, they have known the route, they have known the location, so they will come there and stay. If they commit in Isuzo, they will run back to Benue. But when His Excellency came, he first of all deployed 50 soldiers to Ikemunkwo to protect the life and properties of those people because they cannot move anymore. I have a history that even somebody is doing kidnapping in Abuja, they will ask you to come to Ikemunkwo and pay ransom.
And pay ransom.
Yes, that's what is happening. Those villagers, they will just see people with carton of money and going into the forest. So, but His Excellency, in his own wisdom, said, go there, Alhaji, open up that forest. We believe if we do it, we will stop that, we stop them. And today, for 2 years now, no Fulani man have crossed to Ikemunkwo. We have opened up that place, we have planted cassava, and those soldiers have moved away for more than 1 year now.
And that's
the villagers around Ikemunkwo, all of them have gone back to their village, they are doing their business normal.
Yes, I'm not cutting short, but I remember one Igwe
Naman, yes.
He was on my radio program.
Yeah.
And he attested to this.
So, the villagers, so if you open up those places, they don't have any place to hide. They walk away. But no matter how battalions of soldiers you bring to protect people, when soldiers stay in a place and they have peace for 6 months, they will move away.
Yeah.
And these people will strike again.
Yes.
So that's what has been occurring. But develop that place, open up those places, and see that you have created the security by yourself.
There's no place to hide.
No place to hide. And that's exactly what His Excellency is doing. His Excellency is trying to solve the problem permanently.
Yeah. So apart from Ikemunkwo, that farm program in Ikemunkwo, it has a name. What's the name of that farm?
The name is, because what His Excellency did, through the Ministry of Agriculture, they identified the lands that we have in Enugu State. So His Excellency created an area in Isuzu called Produce City,
Produce it.
Because first, we have a lot of demand, food demand in Enugu State. So where do we produce those fruits and other things? Apart from the farm estate, which is for farmers within 200 farmers creating 1 hectare per farmer, there's somebody that would like to do 10,000, 20,000 hectares of farm. So they are the people that are getting produce city. And my company, ENUGU'S Family Limited, have taken a produce city in Ikemonkwo, which is 15,000 hectares. We are developing it and we are farming there now. And I believe other companies, many other companies in various locations in Enugu State have taken, like Sunrise Mill, have their own land, and many other companies have many lands. So they are developing now. So apart from the farm estate, the produce city is working. The produce city is to serve the companies that will have a production line, so that all the value chain will be completed.
Okay, you just talked about the Kemungo, and that is the Isuzu. So what other parts of Enugu State have this experiment happened? I recall that I was part of a team with you that went to Akpof. What's the story of Akpof?
Akpof used to be the base and headquarters of various criminalities in Southeast. In fact, it's a training camp where a lot of activities is going on there. I can recall the first operation does in Akpof. They recovered about 10 SUV.
10 SUV?
SUVs, yes.
In that bush?
Yes, in that bush. They recovered 2 trailers of rice. They recovered about more than 10 hilos inside that forest.
That place I came?
Yes.
Did they fly it?
What they normally do is those food, if they kidnap anybody with the car, they will go there and hide. So, and they leave the motors there. So His Excellency came in, he said we should go there, develop those places. He wants to see farming activities happening there. Akpof people, majority of them doesn't come home anymore. Many of them have run out of their communities, including their Igwe, I believe, have relocated because of these criminal activities. But we went there, with the local government chairman, we got a lot of shallow graves where they bury their victims and other things. But we have been there. You see what is happening there.
Yes.
Akpof today, you can sleep there. If I ask you to go to Akpof, you can run and go to Akpof and sleep.
Yeah, but I want those who are their viewers to really get.
So His Excellency have performed the magic in Akpof. Akpof have been the production area now in Enugu State, not well known as criminality camp as it used to be before. So with Akpof today, we can produce a lot of food that will serve not only Enugu but the whole Nigeria.
So how is the place structured? I was there. I saw a kind of fencing, and I remember that they talked about digital biofencing or something. So how do you protect? How do you protect that farmland?
The aim of farm estate is the communities that are going to donate that land. They are going to write a letter of consent. With the letter of consent for donation of 200 hectares in your ward, the state government will come in, geofence that land. We'll fence it. If you look at that, we'll fence all the 200 hectares, and we develop it. What the major problem we are facing in Enugu is land development, because you see all around our forests.
Right.
So for you to bring equipment that will uproot all those trees and other things, I have to require government serious attention, and that is where His Excellency is spending heavily to see that we develop those lands.
Yes.
So after land development, we partition those land into 200. From our data bank, registered farmers in that location, in that ward, we pull out 200 people that we now be giving 1 hectare per farmer.
So within that big,
within that, so it's a couple of people that is the one that is going to farm into that farm. 200 people. So His Excellency is creating 200 direct jobs. And then for you, if you know a number of hectares, which is 10,000 square meters,
Yes.
you know if you want to employ people to work in an hectare, you know you will employ nothing less than 5 to 10 people. So you say 200 times 10. That's the job, direct job that His Excellency is creating locally for the local people there. So you're gonna see that it's going to be a massive agricultural revolution.
Okay, I was at Akpof, and I discovered it had the distance from the farm to what you would call an urban area. So what people produce there, how do they evacuate? How do they store? What are the things that are in place to help them? Otherwise, some of these things are perishable. So how can they ensure that?
In each and every farm estate, there's a warehouse. You saw it there?
Yes, I saw one in Akpof.
The warehouse is going to take 100 trucks of grains. It was designed to take 100 trucks of grains. So the local productions there will be the production that is going on in the farm estate will be kept in that warehouse so that the off-taker, whoever is in charge of off-taking it, will have a place to off-take his goods. And even the inputs, like now, we are going to take in fertilizer for those farms, taking seeds, taking chemicals. In normal instances, what used to happen before this time is when this type of program comes, all the farmers will come in one location and take their fertilizer, take their chemicals and seed back home. And then they will go to their farm and apply it. But in this formation of farm estates, everything will be in the farm.
Yes.
Because we try to avoid political farmers. So the political farmers are your friends when you are commissioner. So when you put their name in the program, okay, they must have access to that thing, and they wait and sell it.
Okay.
At the end of the day, spending all those monies by the state, you see that at the end of the day, our produce here will be sold at Ebonyi State and Benue State, and after they produce finish, we will go back and buy it from them. Yeah. So we are trying to put everything together. So whatever, even though if you get a political farmer, you have to farm, because naturally, every head in Nigeria, especially in Igbo land, is a farmer.
Okay, you just from Ikemunko to Akpof is still in Enugu East senatorial zone. Is there anything you're doing in other senatorial zones that that have gotten to this level? I remember one time you were telling me we'll go to Ete, and I told you have to bring a helicopter. You have to bring a helicopter for me to go to Ete.
Apart from Enugu East, even in Enugu East, it's not only those two locations. Okay. We have many other locations coming up, like in Enugu East local government, in Ugogo, we have started farm estate there. Ugwom, we have started farm estate there. And if you come, apart from Enugu East, if you go to the north, we have started Ete farm estate. Ete farm estate, it is another location, it's bordered with Kogi State.
Yes, Kogi.
And there is, if you know the history of those areas, you know that we have also criminal issues there. So those forests, His Excellency have determined to open it up. So there's a lot of farm estate that will come in Ete in one location, because in our geo mapping of those areas is more than 8,000 hectares, and His Excellency is going to utilize about 70 to 80% of it for farm estate, so that the locals within those areas will create job for them, and then we stop those criminalities.
Okay, thank you, Alhaji. And to our viewers, I'm sure for those who have been asking several questions, how can you use food security to fight insecurity? I'm sure if you watched and listened to Alhaji, you will discover that the examples I given in ENUGU'S, and in particular in Akpof, I personally joined the team that went to Akpof, and I guess that Akpof should actually become a tourist attraction, actually. But what has happened there is better seen than described. But when people talk, especially those people who are consultants who work for government, who will say, they're propaganda. The only way you can you can convince yourself that it's not propaganda, is to take a do what? Take a visit to the place. So we'll just take a short break. When we come back, I'll be asking Alhaji a few other questions, especially about private sector involvement, about youth involvement, because yes, he said one farmer could give 5 to 10 people jobs, and so you could do that. But I want to know, how are the youth getting involved? Are they getting funding, land issue, and all that? So don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
This is Freedom Square TV. This is Freedom Square TV. Freedom Square TV delivers accurate, timely news covering politics, business, and society, keeping viewers entertained, informed, and empowered every day. Keep watching Freedom Square TV. Freedom Square TV, where script comes to life.
And you're still watching Beyond the Headlines on Freedom Square TV. And my guest is still Alhaji Sani Friday Nnaji, who of course is a consultant to Enugu State government on farm estates. Alhaji, before we went on break, you talked about how it's been possible in issues and above. But something that just came to my mind while we were on break, and that is the issue of a neighboring community to the place, Ihamufu. Ihamufu has been on the news for the right or wrong reasons for a very long time. We see what looks like demonstrations, we see a cry, they say there's insecurity in Ihamufu, they say government is not doing anything. In fact, they actually accuse you of they say you are trying to occupy their land. So what actually has happened in Ihamufu and what is happening in Ihamufu?
Yeah, being my own area, my local government, and close to my community, it is the same issue with Ikemunko. Because if you check the borderline, Kogi, Benue, and Ebonyi State, they have the same close borderline with Enugu. So we have tackled Ebonyi, we have tackled route from Benue and Kogi to Enugu. There's another route from Benue, Ebonyi to Enugu, which is at Ihamufu zone.
Okay, yes.
Before His Excellency's coming in, if there's issue at a village called Ipapara, at that borderline, from Ihamufu to that place, it will take you complete 1 day journey to reach there. So if there's a killing now, before you can go anything without helicopter, you can reach tomorrow morning.
That's quite far.
So you see that tackling insecurity there is bare impossible, because whoever is going to commit anything will commit it in 1 hour, 2 hours and go. And so for you to assess that place, to even help those that have issue, it will take you up to 1 day. Bringing the person out will take you another 1 day. So you see there's a lot of issues there. So His Excellency, in his own wisdom, the first road construction he constructed there is that road.
That set of roads?
Yeah. In fact, he's going to open that road any moment from the early week of August or second week of August. So now we have access road to that location. And there's a lot of issue. What is happening in Enugu? Nobody have ever think that is going to happen. Nobody have ever think that this type of development will come to Enugu. So when you talk of land, people will think that you want to grab their land.
Yeah, because that's the pressure.
So that's the pressure. So there's a lot of agitation. There's a lot of even people that knows the truth that they don't want to say the truth. So, but why we keep quiet is our work will speak for us. And I believe the work have started speaking for us. The development have come. People have seen the reality of what we want to achieve. Farm estate development is going on in those locations now. We we are going to do produce cities there in Ehamufu. And then His Excellency is thinking of even walling that area,
Okay.
putting a barricade in that area so that it will create one single access so that anyone that is coming in will be checkmated. So for you to know that His Excellency Dr. Peter Mbah have taken issue of security very, very serious.
That is good you are talking now, because people had always, how do I say it? They always believed that the governor wasn't doing much about the Hamufu. Maybe they were expecting to see the governor go and live there, sleep there. And that's why, with due respect, we tell that those in government should help the governor by having conversations that people will now, if you're not here now, many people may not know this progress. And they keep saying, the Ojehi Hamufu, he has something about the Hamufu. So what else is happening? So Hamufu is peaceful
So
now?
Hamufu is, there's a lot, for you to solve issue of insecurity of that nature, you have to create a lot of things working. It's not just to deploy security personnel there to monitor. No, they too, they are humans. Sometimes they will leave the forest to go and check their families,
Yes.
and anything can happen between that time. But for you to create a permanent solution, and know how you can create that permanent solution unless you are doing what His Excellency is doing now, creating road network. In less than 2 years, the road have opened. He's going to commission it, have been tied, the asphalt, everything. This is a place that even bulldozer haven't go before. So for creating that access road, whatever happened, you can easily reach to that area. So another layer of thing that will happen in Hamufu now is to develop those areas, create farm estates. If you create farm estate in that forest, even the owners, the villagers, everybody will have an interest of working in their farmland.
But I let the people of Hamufu are willing to give their land.
Yeah.
How are you solving the problem? Because that's part of the issue.
The issue of land, this thing in Hamufu, is something that, looking at the political system, what happened in there. So many people, before this time, there's a lot of issues of this thing. When you talk of development in such area, there will be political influence that will come in. But as it is now, we are all one.
So there's peace in the Hamufu.
So everybody are willing. The development, everybody. For you to see somebody like His Excellency Chijioke Doga to adopt His Excellency Dr. Peter Mbah and agree that even though it's him, he cannot do what is happening now. So you see that the tomorrow is actually here.
Okay, yes, tomorrow is actually here. That's what Alhaji had just said. Alhaji, in all this, it appears it's just government, private sector involvement, private investors. Do they have opportunities to get involved in all this? And so individuals, how can they key into this very beautiful thing? Or is it just between you and government?
The individuals, there's a lot of individual private organizations in both, even international organizations have been given land in Enugu now.
Okay.
So that's why the produce city comes in. The produce city, the farm estate solve the issue of smallholders farmers that do just from half hectare to 1 hectare. But if you are going more than 20, 30 hectares, it is then the produce cities comes in. Many communities in Enugu State have donated their land. If you go to Eva Valley is another area in Enugu North local government.
How can you get land in Eva Valley? There's no land in Eva Valley.
Eva Valley, when we look at Enugu North, if you look at the Ungo and everything, you see that there's nowhere you can get up to 50, 100 hectares to do farm estate. So what we designed there is, if you come to Enugu today, the tomato, the veggies, the perishable item we consume came all the way from the north.
Yes.
We don't know which type of chemicals, which type of fertilizers we use in producing those items we are buying every day and eating. And that's why you see a lot of cancer problem, a lot of health issue going on. So at this point, His Excellency is giving us tax to checkmate what we consume. And by doing that, we are using area like Eva Valley, some places in the Enugu South local government to do greenhouse for veggies. So in Eva Valley, you are establishing more than 200 greenhouses. Those greenhouses, we are going to do fruit markets. We have identified a place that whatever we produce there will be coming there. So everybody can go there and get organic food to eat, so that you know what you are eating, the source of where it's coming, and all this. So we have taken care of all this. So areas that do not have those land, we will use whatever they have to develop what will benefit Enugu and agriculture. So until when we understand that, we now know that the ICT is even attached to the agriculture. We are talking of AI, artificial intelligence. How are we going to bring it into whatever we are doing? The youths. For me, today, for you to give me a job of 500,000 per month, you give me a one plot of land at my backyard. Doing ordinary fishing will give you times 10 of that salary. So there's a lot of job the youth can do. And that's exactly where we are going. We are bringing out those youths. We are forming them into association, into cooperatives, so that we can match. It's not just funding. There's a lot of funding system going on across Enugu State now. IFAD are there, L+ are there, Fadama are there. But you see, the system will rotate every year. They are spending those money, is not creating an impact. What we are trying to do now is trying to cooperate them. If you have a cooperative society that you give 5 million naira, for instance, of 20, 30 people, they will hold it, they will manage it for 5 years. But if you give one person 5 million, the person will go and marry, and the person will buy a car, and other things will happen. So we are trying to use another system where we bring them together, cooperate them, put them into a system that will drive their life. There's no job today in Nigeria. Whatever is your salary, you can hardly take it up to a month. And then you'll be looking at your mate driving cars, building houses. And so whatever they tell you that, yes, you go and do and get these things, you will do it. But if you have your own way of life, create your own job. As far as you have that one plot, being fish pond, for instance, you create job. You became an employer of labor. So you two are trying to rearrange them, reorganize them. Apart from those that are catching young, those that are grow to the age of maturity, we want to reintegrate them back, creating 200 jobs in a ward. You know what it means? Yeah. So, and the target is youth and women. So the old ones, yes, they are going to benefit out of it, but the target is youth, who are that person that if you put into a direction in 1 hectare, can plant that 1 hectare from now to 20 years. A hectare is 10,000 square meters. You can become a billionaire with a hectare if you know what you are doing.
Okay, you can become a billionaire with just a hectare. Mechanized agriculture. Before now, our people were doing peasant agriculture. I talked about the tractor assembly plant in Enugu. In this farm estates you talked about, are you using the tractors? Are you using the mechanized? Are you still using the old way of cultivating that? Because it's important. Because if they are still doing the old ways, Alhaji,
yeah, that's the major problem we have in this side of the world. So when you say agriculture, you always remember when you use hoe. Your father used to take you to a farm that face a lot of challenges. No, and that's why many youths, immediately they come out of that system, they run away. They better go to Lagos with their degree certificate and do kabu kabu than to come back home and do farming in their where they have the land. So things have changed now. I'm talking of artificial intelligence, technology, and agriculture. So when you are talking about that, you are not talking about using manual cultivation system. We are going beyond machine. Going beyond machine. We are going into the real agricultural system where you use drone and other mechanized system to do agriculture. As it is now, we are bringing in drone that will be planting in Enugu State very soon. You just stay at your one place, operate your drone, command it to plant for 1 hectare. In less than 10 minutes, you have finished planting.
Alhaji, I'll challenge you. I want to come and watch that one and see it happen.
So we are using, when you went above, you see the way we spray chemicals.
Yes.
Sprayers and all that. It's not the normal knapsack that people press. Because you cannot use that system to do a lot of things. In planting, we have cassava planters, where you put a cassava stem into a planter, it will plant it based on your calculation. So all this thing was done. We have it in Enugu. It's not that we are going to have it. We have it already in Enugu operating now. Sorry, when you mention tractors, it's not 20 tractors.
I said 200.
Okay, it's 200. So
I said 200.
The 200 tractors are already there, and another 800 have been assembled. His Excellency is doing what it can to bring. Have requested for all form of implements. It's not just the tractor head. The major what work with the tractor is the implement. If you want to harrow, you put the implement. If you want to plant, you put the implement. If you want to harvest, you put the implement. So the tractor is just the driver.
Okay, so you can replace. One can do a lot of things.
One can do a lot of things when you have the machines.
It's like a golfer.
Yeah,
he uses this stick to
do this, and
I use another one, or like a mechanic who uses different tools.
So that's it.
Yes. I visited the GTC, and the course of the new GTC is a brand new school. It's one of the testaments of Peter Mbah's revolution in the education sector. But when they were taking us around talking about smart school, they talked about smart farms. And I was thinking, what is that? Smart school, smart farm. What's that, Alhaji?
Yeah, what bring about smart farm is simply just to catch them young. Today, our youths, before the coming of this administration, you know what youth is all about. The youths who will finish their education searching for a job where there's no job. They don't have hope. And that's bring a lot of issues. For you to see a youth to spend 6 months pressing computer doing Yahoo without getting anything. Many of them are doing it. So maybe in 1 year or 2 years, one of them will jam one mugu and get out. So there's a lot of criminalities, this kidnapping and issue. So what His Excellency is doing, how do you resect their thinking? Which to do that, you have to do a lot of job. But at young age, students from that year 1 up to SS3, if you teach them various things that will happen at GTC, at smart schools and other things, if somebody come out from university and they have the person to come and get employment, white collar job, the person will reject it because he knows his thinking have gone beyond that. So what His Excellency is doing in area of agriculture, why smart farm, is of 2-3 reasons. For these kids to learn agriculture from the scratch. Apart from the smart farm, there's another secondary school for agriculture. There's University of Agriculture.
It's
established in 3 locations in Enugu State. So, because we want to take over the food system in Nigeria. This is the aim. We want to take over the system. So these kids, in their classroom, not only going to the farm to do practical, in their classroom, they stream whatever is happening. If you go to Owo today and ask students how many drop of water will a chicken take to survive per day, he will tell you, because he's watching it in CCTV. The way it's dropping and the way he's taking it, can count it and multiply it for you. If you go to greenhouse in Owo today, the students are watching it from their classroom and they can come and touch it and they feed out of it. Just like what we are saying now. What we are into before is, in such a school feeding program, government will give contracts.
Yeah, the people who
supply food and then who will cook the food. You will see that if a kid eat apple at home, if you come to school, they give him rice. What is different? It's the same thing. So, but now, what the smart school, smart farm is doing is to complement the feeding of those children so that they can feed.
So they eat aqua at home now. So what would they eat in the what would they eat at
They eat veggies, they eat egg. These kids eat egg in the almost twice in a week. They eat vegetables that is highly organic. They eat fish. So all these things, the bananas are coming out in the farm now.
Don't you feel like us to go back to primary school?
So they are eating heavily. So you now see that those kids doesn't want to go to home. Go to Owo by 5, 6, you will see students inside school. They will still sleep at their home, but early in the morning by 7, they have come out to the school. Because
they are looking forward to something.
Yeah, they are looking forward to there's a lot of programming going on in the school that make them not to even sleep at their home. They want to be in the school. And when they become hungry, they will be fit. So we are catching them young to know about agriculture from the grassroots. They feed out of it. And many other things. So the smart farm is smart school, and each and every smart school in Enugu State is having 1 hectare of farmland attached to it, where the smart farm will be established so that they can take their practical and feed out of it.
Very interesting. It would appear that all has been taken care of, but still, those young men who graduate from universities, how do they get integrated into this? What opportunities are available for the graduates? Now, of course, those in primary who benefit from the smart school will seamlessly have their life, chartered. But for those who have already graduated, there are many, largely there are many. If you go into town, you find a lot of, so to speak, jobless people. And then you talked about people who spend 2 years with the computer, and one will happen. One movie will fall. As no goes. So what are you doing to ensure that our TV youths benefit from this?
For me, many of those youths, talented as we are, because I believe Igbos, if not the most talented in the whole world, will count one of the first 5.
Yeah.
So our youth are very brilliant, talented, and they can engage in everything. But the agripreneurship is an area. There's 2 areas that the whole world is relying on: ICT and agriculture. So until when we understand that, we now know that the ICT is even attached to the agriculture. We are talking of AI, artificial intelligence. How are we going to bring it into whatever we are doing? The youths, for me today, for you to give me a job of 500,000 per month, you give me a 1 plot of land at my backyard, doing ordinary fishing will give you times 10 of that salary. So there's a lot of job the youth can do, and that's exactly where we are going. We are bringing out those youths. We are forming them into association, into cooperatives, so that we can match. It's not just funding. There's a lot of funding system going on across Enugu State now. IFAD are there, L+ are there, Fadama are there. But you see, the system will rotate every year. They are spending those money is not creating an impact. What we are trying to do now is trying to cooperate them. If you have a cooperative society that you give 5 million naira, for instance, of 20, 30 people, they will hold it, they will manage it for 5 years. But if you give one person 5 million, the person will go and marry, and the person will buy a car, and other things will happen. So we are trying to use another system where we bring them together, cooperate them, put them into a system that will drive their life. There's no job today in Nigeria. Whatever is your salary, you can hardly take it up to a month. And then you'll be looking at your mate driving cars, building houses. And so whatever they tell you that, yes, you go and do and get these things, you will do it. But if you have your own way of life, create your own job. As far as you have that one plot, being fish pond, for instance, you create job. You became an employer of labor. So you two are trying to rearrange them, reorganize them. Apart from those that are catching young, those that are grow to the age of maturity, we want to reintegrate them back, creating 200 jobs in a ward. You know what it means?
Yeah.
So, and the target is youth and women. So the old ones, yes, they are going to benefit out of it, but the target is youth, who are that person that if you put into a direction in 1 hectare, can plant that 1 hectare from 9 to 20 years. Yeah. A hectare is 10,000 square meters. You can become a billionaire with a hectare if you know what you are doing.
Okay, you can become a billionaire with just a hectare. Mechanized agriculture. Before now, our people were doing peasant agriculture. I talked about the tractor assembly plant in Enugu. In these farm estates you talked about, are you using the tractors? Are you using the mechanized? Are you still using the old way of cultivating that? Because it's important. Because if they are still doing the old ways, Alhaji,
yeah, that's the major problem we have in this side of the world. So when you say agriculture, you always remember when you use hoe. Your father used to take you to a farm that face a lot of challenges. No, and that's why many youths, immediately they come out of that system, they run away. They better go to Lagos with their degree certificate and do kabu than to come back home and do farming in where they have the land. So things have changed now. I'm talking of artificial intelligence, technology, and agriculture. So when you are talking about that, you are not talking about using manual cultivation system. We are going beyond machine. Going beyond machine. We are going into the real agricultural system where you use drone and other mechanized system to do agriculture. As it is now, we are bringing in drone that will be planting in Enugu State very soon. You just stay at your one place, operate your drone, command it to plant for 1 hectare. In less than 10 minutes, you have finished planting.
I'll challenge you. I want to come and watch that one. And this happen.
So we are using, when you went above, you see the way we spray chemicals.
Yes.
Sprayers and all that. It's not the normal knapsack that people press. Because you cannot use that system to do a lot of things. In planting, we have cassava planters, where you put a cassava's stem into a planter, it will plant it based on your calculation. So all this thing was done. We have it in Enugu. It's not that we are going to have it. We have it already in Enugu, operating now. Sorry, when you mentioned tractors, it's not 20 tractors.
I said 200.
Okay, it's 200. So
I said 200.
So the 200 tractors are already there, and another 800 have been assembled. His Excellency is doing what it can to bring. I have requested for all form of implements. It's not just the tractor head. The major what work with the tractor is the implement. If you want to harrow, you put the implement. If you want to plant, you put the implement. If you want to harvest, you put the implement. So the tractor is just the driver
Okay, so
head that
you can
move
replace
round.
that. One can do a lot of things.
One can do a lot of things when you have the
Okay,
machines.
it's like a golfer.
Yeah,
He uses this stick to
do this and then
uses
minus
another
and
one,
use that
or like a
for
mechanic who
yeah,
uses different tools.
different tools. So that's exactly what it's all about.
Okay, if we ask to advise in Enugu, because we're bringing this to a close, if you ask to advise in Enugu, they are watching you now, and what will you tell them that in the past 2 years, just a summary of what you have been able to do in the past 2 years in the area of agriculture? Like because someone asked me, what do you say is a revolution? You know what a revolution means? I say, it's when you radically do something as a departure from the old ways of being done. That's what you say is a revolution. It's not a change, it's a revolution. So I want you to address in Enugu, talk to them as they are concluding a statement.
Yeah, all what we need in Enugu State is patience. Last year, a barrel of cassava was say 18,000 in market. This year, a barrel of cassava in market is 5,000 naira. So if you see, the impact is already there. The food prices this year have crashed against last year.
Okay.
If you check how much you buy a bag of rice last year and go to the market now and know how much you buy a bag of rice, you know there's a deduction of over 30% of the price. So His Excellency's work is just like what you are seeing in the smart school that is going on concurrently, is about 80 to 90% completion now, which every school is supposed to resume by September. So the same agricultural revolution is going on. So what we are achieving, like this year now, His Excellency is about to launch 25,000 inputs that will be given to farmers free of charge across the state. So next year you will see the food prices will still crash down again because the government is injecting a lot of money into the system. So for the last 2 years, it's not the same as this year in Enugu in terms of food production and consumption. Many people, last 2 years, the population of people we have in Enugu have increased this year because there's peace. Many people are coming back. The people of our neighboring state like Anambra and everybody are coming back to Enugu now. And you see Enugu is cool, food is available, and that's the major aim. Because whatever you are going to be, you have to eat first. And many people are eating in Enugu.
Okay, I want to thank you, Alhaji Friday Sani, for finding time to be here. And I'm sure that those who have been watching us would have had a big change of heart. They would have learned a lot of things about what's going on in the area of agriculture, how government is using food security to fight insecurity. Alhaji, you've been able to break it down, that anybody who watched you will understand that it's not just a rhetoric. It's not these government people talking things that are not tangible, things you cannot fail. So we want to thank you very much for finding time out of your busy schedule to be here and for patiently explaining what government and you have been doing in the area of agriculture. And so I want to thank you very much. And our viewers, you can watch this episode on our YouTube channel at Freedom Square TV, hopefully starting from 3 p.m. today. And so I want to ask you to join us same time, same station next week for yet another interesting conversation. Always remember that the biggest room in the world is actually the room for what? For improvement. And so as we leave you, we ask you to do what? To stay informed. We ask you to stay involved. And we ask you to stay beyond the headlines. Have a lovely day.
you.